So Hello Gamers, Phantom Forces released another statement. No, I'm not kidding. They've been in hiding for over a month, but they're here, guys, and they're gonna clear up everything. Actually, no, they're not. But let's get into it. Obviously, no Phantom Forces gameplay in the background because if you guys didn't know, they banned all the Phantom Forces YouTubers who spoke out against them. Most of them didn't even get a reason for their ban in game, but I wasn't gonna play the game regardless, so it's not really that big of a deal. Also, I have a bit of a cold, so I'm gonna sound a little bit different, and I'll be streaming after this video goes up so we can talk about this a little bit more. Anyway, they say, greetings everyone. This document is intended to provide transparency on key events within our studio, acknowledging the mistakes. Guys, they're finally going to say sorry. While we may not cover every case, we have prioritized the most significant incidents to ensure transparency and provide a clearer understanding of our ongoing efforts. In addressing several serious inaccuracies spread throughout the community, we want to emphasize that this does not diminish our responsibility to maintain a safe environment. It's a little bit too late to maintain a safe environment. They start off talking about Bella the Bat Pony was reported for inappropriate communications. They were promptly removed from the content creator program. Our staff did not ban them from the Discord. Once again, they say it was too difficult for us to change the skins. We changed other skins, but we can't do it now. They next talk about Juke. They say when reports surfaced at the end of October 2021 claiming he had inappropriately messaged minors, he was removed from their community. One of the bad business developers reached out to our lead developer AxisAngle and informed us to look out for this user if they were in our community. Juke is the person who actually met up with the minor, keep in mind. We issued a clear warning that any future inappropriate behavior, oh nice, including removal from the program and community. Guys, you can only talk to a minor one time. Juke had promised to refrain from interacting directly with minors, but he did it already. What are you talking about, bro? Within weeks, Juke's behavior became problematic, but then he wasn't removed for like another, what, 4 months, 3 months? It seemed as though Juke consistently chose the worst course of action at every opportunity. Okay, then remove him. I don't get it. As an additional safeguard, our staff issued a ban on his account. Wowee, that's so difficult. Nice job, guys. I'm glad you didn't do that with pretty much anybody else. At the time, we felt we were taking a stern but humane approach given the limited evidence. You had all the evidence of him talking to a minor. I don't know what you're talking about. But we now realize if Juke had been smarter or had more impulse control, he could have infiltrated. He did. He did. He was doing the same thing. He didn't even infiltrate. You guys just kept him around. You already knew what he was doing, and you just kept him around. It opened our eyes to the reality of what can seem like idiocy, inconsistent behavior. Inconsistent behavior. He's talking to a minor. His carelessness is talking to a minor, guys. What are you talking about, bro? Next, they talk about WolfDawgz, the map maker, and they say that evidence was circulating with screenshots of WolfDawgz illicit photos, but the photos weren't actually submitted directly to them, so they had no idea, guys. We couldn't ban them, which is silly. They just decided not to try to verify the authenticity at all by like DMing one person. They also go on to say, we were also informed that many users were attempting to him because of his furry identity, which added complexity to the situation. At the time, many members of the furry community were under suspicion in online spaces. I wonder why. They ended up finding it, finally, and upon this discovery, we severed all ties with WolfDawgz and reported the situation to Discord. We did not receive any follow-up information or updates on the outcome, but we determined that if legal action were needed, Discord would be the appropriate platform to escalate the case. Discord is notoriously bad for this, and this is not how it's supposed to work when you actually run a community. You're supposed to let people know about it, and you didn't because it looks bad on you guys. With this, we considered the matter resolved and okay, that's the same excuse from last time. Last time it didn't work. This time it doesn't really work. Then they go on to say, with the changes to our policies and improved communication with our admin team, we are committed to finding a better balance between transparency and safeguarding sensitive information. Next time, we'll do better. Just because, you know, there's been like 2 million views worth of videos on this stuff from like 50 different YouTube channels. Now we're finally going to do something. We weren't going to do anything before. Nobody even knew before, but now we care. For the Mar thing, they have quite a bit of stuff to talk about. This is going to be really interesting. Mar was a former contractor hired to maintain content updates during a period when our lead developers were occupied with college and various other projects. We entrusted him with making many content balance decisions, often without our direct involvement. In late March 2021, Mar became the target of personal information, receiving threats that included his personal information. Shortly after, a server raid occurred in which many individuals mass DM'd server members with content exposing Mar. Our team became aware of these accusations, but since they had not been submitted through our proper... Why are you guys doing this? You're unable to verify whether the claims of inappropriate behavior were true. You have to go through the official methods. You can DM it to everybody, you can talk about it on the server, but until you go through their thing, they're not going to look into it because it's not their problem. We launched our own internal investigation investigation into the allegations. Due to the severity of the threats, we asked him to step away from the community for his own safety while we reviewed the claims. At the time, we still believed in his innocence and allowed him to continue working on game updates under the condition that he would no longer engage with the community. In the last one, you guys completely neglected to mention this. So sad. We assumed the accusation stemmed from his history of abrasive interactions. Guys, just look at the actual claims. They never thought to go ask the guy that was working for them. Like, just go send him a DM. What is he gonna say? Now, in my opinion, it seems like they knew and AxisAngle didn't really care. And that's kind of backed up by the fact that AxisAngle said what Mar did wasn't even bad. Like, he said that. If you go watch part 2, he said that. So it kind of just seems like they thought Mar talking to minors inappropriately was not that big of a deal. And it seems like they knew that the claims were real, right? Obviously, they would know by like a year later. But from Axis' statement, in my opinion, it kind of seems like they didn't really care at that point. So they just kept hiring Mar instead of, you know, kicking him out because he talked to kids. Between late 2021 and early 2022, multiple issues arose. WolfDawgz and Juke, you know, their behavior, which was the same as Mars. These new developments made it challenging to determine how we should handle Mars' continued involvement in the studio. After strong recommendations from our admin team, we informed Mar that I don't think the admin team really cared. I know from part 2, if you guys remember, a lot of the admin team is still friends with Mar now, so I don't think they really cared that much. We informed Mar that he would no longer contribute to our game in any capacity, even behind the scenes. By March 2022, Mar was fully removed from all development and contributions. Isn't there a statement by Shay, like an internal statement that said that he was still working in March, like not before March? I don't know. I'll put it on screen because I don't know the exact date, so maybe I'm wrong. It was only later that we confirmed the authentic... Guys, it took them like a year and a half, but they finally figured out what the screenshot was. In hindsight, we should have suspended Mar from the team until his innocence was confirmed rather than allowing... Guys, it doesn't take that long to confirm the innocence. It doesn't take over a year to do that. This has been a crucial learning experience for our studio. With our new policies, we're committed to handling similar allegations with greater urgency. Guys, next time they'll be fine because they got called out. They didn't mention any of this stuff last time. It still doesn't really help in my opinion. But listen, now they care because it's been a month and the player count is going down for PF. Now they care. They talk about Willow and they say, as a studio, we are greatly disappointed that 2 of our consecutive contractors were found guilty of such actions. I wonder why this environment has caused so many people to do this stuff. I wonder why Al, a former member of our moderation team until 2023, was reported for sending inappropriate messages to minors in the public chat. They forgot to say sometime around July 2023, the first issue came to light when individual community members, seemingly dissatisfied with Hal's involvement in Phantom Force's map making, compiled a Google document containing his old public chat messages. Guys, you're allowed to group minors, but if the people that are calling you out don't like your maps on Phantom Forces, those allegations are basically false now. I don't know why they keep adding this. Like, these people are being witch hunted. I don't know why they're being witch hunted for being... This appeared to be part of an attempt to launch a harassment campaign. Oh my gosh, why are you being harassed for talking to minors like that? I have no idea. Leading us to implement measures like video screen refreshing and Discord message ID verification. It was in your general chat. These were not private DMs. These were in the general chat of the server you own. Upon being notified of the Google document, we verified the authenticity, as they are still available. While there was a debate within our team about whether to take action against Hal based on messages from 2017 to 2018, especially since no problematic behavior had been observed more recently, Hal chose to leave the community seemingly to avoid further harassment generated by the document. From what Spiral said, he left because Ruben Sim joined, and that was months after. He got promoted after Lido Zinnemann, the owner of Phantom Forces, was informed about Hal. They never talked about that because they're not going to talk about that here because that's a little bit too much for them to admit, I think. So yeah, Hal chose to leave the community much later after he was promoted, after Lido was informed about the messages. And yes, people are going to get mad at Hal because he talked to a minor. What are you talking about, bro? As a result, no additional disciplinary action was taken after he was no longer present. It was not taken beforehand. For months, it was not taken beforehand. There was plenty of time. In the last response, they did the same thing. But we already disproved it. It's not like, why are you going for the same excuse again? It doesn't make any sense. Also, for some reason, copying and pasting content outside this file has been disabled. That is so suspicious because it wasn't a thing on the previous document. Moving forward, we recognize the need to be more proactive in ensuring our staff adhere to strict behavioral guidelines when interacting with the community. Yeah, not talking to minors is probably a good standard. We acknowledge that this situation should not have caught us off guard. It didn't catch you off guard because Spirals let Lito know in DM, so we already talked about this in part 2. This was not off guard. You had plenty of time. Next, they talk about Cid9. They say Cid9 is not Willow. Like I said, an ex-contractor let me know that Cid9 had been sort of a group account at one point, and Willow had been on the account. I don't know if that's true, though. That's all alleged. That's why I said in my video that it was alleged. They said the exact same thing about AxisAngle. They said dark humor. He had dark humor, guys. Also, they said it was before partnering the server. I believe there was the message in 2018 as well, which was during a ROBLOX event or around the time of a ROBLOX event. We strongly believe that using these comments to support unfounded claims. Nobody's supporting unfounded claims. People are calling him names, but I never said he was an actual pred, bro. I just said maybe from that stuff. There's no proof of him doing anything and talking to anybody. That's why I never said there was any proof. I just showed the messages. The messages are very bad. I also like how they never mentioned any of the comments AxisAngle made on stream. They never talked about the mouse pad ever. God Status brought that up to me. They never talked about AxisAngle's furry mouse pad that he showed on stream. Maybe because I said it could be considered a crime in some jurisdiction, so they probably don't want to bring that up, you know? After considering the recent feedback, okay, it's not recent, it's been a month. With over 8 years of activity and 100,000 plus users, we want to ensure younger members could not accidentally encounter inappropriate content. Interesting, because your staff team still has some of those weird people. As a result, we decided to archive the public channels. They already said this before. This is literally the same statement, but longer. They talk about age verification. Ultimately, our goal is to create great games. They already said this before. This is literally ChatGPT extended of the previous one, I swear. Moving forward, we are more determined than ever to uphold the trust of those who support us and ensure our actions reflect that commitment. Now, for my closing thoughts, this is basically the same response as before, but extended. All it does is admit to slightly more. Once again, they don't really apologize at all. They don't really admit to anything any of the developers did other than Axis. They keep throwing him under the bus, but nobody else seems to get any flack at all, especially Lito, because he probably wrote this one. I'll go and stream in a bit, but just don't play Phantom Forces. I don't know what to tell you guys. Just don't play Phantom Forces. You don't have to go and dislike the game or make alts and cheat and do all these other things that people are doing, and don't like go and harass anybody. Just don't play the game. The player count has dropped significantly. A lot of people are just not playing the game anymore. That's why they probably did this statement. If the player count wasn't dropping, they never would have done this, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Have a nice day.